I didn't understand what memory really was until Adele asked me why I stopped taking photos of us. Most people think memories are something you preserve afterward. But what I had learned with Adele was this: sometimes the only way to truly keep a moment is to stop trying to capture it. This is Reframing Life: stories of love, loss, and what it means to be human. I'm Kent. In this series, my soulmate named Adele, I'm sharing the true story of how we found each other, what it meant to love like that, and what it means to keep living after she's gone. In the last episode, we were in Barcelona, moving through one more chapter of what it meant to live fully together. In this episode, I want to take you somewhere quieter, but in many ways just as important. This is about one of the first times I understood what it really meant to be completely present with the person you love, and how that changed the way Adele and I lived our life together. Very early in our relationship, Adele and I were fortunate enough to take one of our many trips together. It was early in 2006 when our plane landed in Mazatlán, Mexico. We loved our kids. We loved our families. But we also knew we needed this time away, time focused only on each other, time to truly get to know one another. I had never been to Mexico before. Adele had been many times. And early in our relationship, without ever formally discussing it, we began to understand what each of us naturally brought into a life together. Adele was extremely organized, very detail-oriented. She thought ahead. She anticipated things. She handled details beautifully. Without question, early on, she took full control of organizing our trips. And to be honest, she was so good at it that I often barely knew the name of the resort we were going to, the one we were currently at, or sometimes even the one we had just left. Thank God for wristbands. They really kept me on the straight and narrow. That was Adele, thoughtful, prepared, always seeing what mattered before it became obvious to anyone else. And one of the details she thought to bring on that first trip was a digital camera. Brilliant idea, because photography had always meant something to me. I had real appreciation for outdoor landscapes, architecture, the way an image could hold light and shape and silence. I loved the work of Ansel Adams. I loved intricate architectural photography, Art Deco lines in Chicago, and Frank Lloyd Wright. The way buildings and landscapes could feel like emotion made visible. So you would think, on a trip like that, I'd be taking photos constantly. But something very important happened to me there. Something I didn't see coming. And it became one of those moments in life where your perspective shifts so deeply that you are never the same again. Adele and I had both wanted to remember that trip. It was our first real time away together. Our first chance to settle into us. And somewhere in those early days, without even realizing it, I stopped taking photos. I didn't notice. Adele did. She asked me one day why I had stopped taking pictures of us and of the trip. I remember sitting there with that. I didn't answer right away because I didn't yet know the answer. But I could feel something in me already knew. And after sitting in that silence for a bit, I found the words. I said, every time I look through the viewfinder, I begin framing the photograph to show someone else, and I lose the sense of being in the moment with you. That was it. That was the truth. The moment I started composing the image for someone outside the experience, I was no longer fully inside it. I told her, I do not want to miss being in any moment with you, no matter how fleeting, just to capture a photo for someone who will never truly know what that moment felt like. Because even the best photograph can only do so much. It can only show shape. It can show faces. It can show place. But it cannot always hold presence. And for me, in that season with Adele, I didn't want anything between me and being fully there with her. Making memories requires something deeper than documentation. It requires presence, absolute immersion. That is how the details get into you. That is how you hold them forever. And that conversation changed something. Actually, it gave me two things. The first was this. If there'd ever been any doubt left in me that Adele was my soulmate, it was gone. Because it was our connection, our deepening bond that allowed me to see myself that clearly, to recognize what I was feeling with that much honesty. It was earth-shattering in its own quiet way. And the second thing it gave me was this understanding between us. From that point on, Adele mostly took the lead on taking photographs, or she would suggest when I should take one, because she knew something. She knew that when I was with her, I was truly with her. Not saving the moment for someone else, living it for us. And I think that realization shaped more of my life than I understood at the time. Maybe it's part of why my memories with Adele are still so vivid. Not just what happened, but how it felt. A look, a pause, a laugh, a sentence, the space between us. I am blessed that way. Years later, that same way of being showed up again in a moment we didn't expect. We were having dinner after a full day of client meetings, just the two of us, talking, laughing, unwinding. At the end of the meal, our server came over, a young woman in her early 20s. And she said something that stopped both of us. She said, "Excuse me, I just wanted to say how wonderful it's been watching the two of you talking, laughing, never taking your eyes off one another. Neither one of you ever pulled out a phone. I have never seen that." Then she said, "You were so in the moment with each other. I can see how much you love one another." She saw it. Exactly what we had learned years earlier. That presence is a kind of love. Attention is a kind of love. Being fully with someone is a kind of love. We thanked her and we told her she was right. We loved each other more than we ever thought possible. And we told her we learned early to be in the moment and to celebrate every chance we got. And then we told her something we came to believe very deeply. In the end, all you leave with are your memories, and all you leave behind are your memories, and nothing else matters. Looking back, that lesson changed me forever, because a rich life is not built by storing moments away. It's built by living them fully while they're still here. And if this resonates with you, you're welcome to share a thought below. And if you'd like to keep walking this story with me, you can subscribe. In the next episode, we'll move from memory making to how Adele and I celebrated life itself and gave meaning to ordinary days. That's where we'll go next.